Fellas, how in the hell are we doing here today? Co-op gaming has always been a special experience, and very few dev teams have perfected that art like Haze-like Studios. Following the massive success of It Takes Two, expectations for their new game were sky high. And then, last year, at 2024's Game Awards, we got an announcement for Split Fiction, a brand new adventure that pushes the storytelling and gameplay innovation even further. Let's not waste any more time on a long-winded intro here, alright? This was one of my most anticipated games of 2025, so I was really excited to play it and bring you guys a review here, so let's just jump straight into things, shall we? Split Fiction is a co-op adventure game available on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation for $50. Hazelight Studios, a smaller indie team with a stellar reputation, has once again delivered an innovative multiplayer experience. Their previous titles, A Way Out and It Takes Two, shared a similar design philosophy where two players work together to achieve a common goal. Now yes, working together is obviously the point of any cooperative experience, but Hazelight pushes that idea to the absolute max. If both people aren't equally carrying their weight, then you're just going to have a very hard time trying to progress in this game.
You want to play game?
I'm trying to get down the river. You just go. Take us to the promised land. Take us to the promised land.
This is a 4x4 Silverado, okay? We don't turn on a dime.
A Way Out was a prison break story, while It Takes Two followed a couple trying to return to their human form after being turned into toys. Split Fiction introduces us to two aspiring novelists, Mio and Zoe, who are attempting to get their works published. However, they soon realize their ideas are being stolen by a corrupt publishing agency using groundbreaking technology that transports them into the worlds of their stories. To escape and take down the mastermind behind it all, they must navigate between two very distinct literary styles, Zoe's fantasy world and Mio's sci-fi realm. The constant shift between these two contrasting realities keeps the experience fresh and engaging, and it constantly introduces new areas along the way. Beyond the adventurous premise, the game also explores deeper themes. Both protagonists are dealing with grief in very different ways. Zoe harbors guilt over her sister's passing at a young age, while Mio struggles with resentment as she watches her father succumb to sickness, burdened by the mounting medical bills. While Split Fiction maintains a pretty lighthearted tone throughout the game, these emotional undertones make the story way more compelling than your average indie game. And it's something that It Takes Two did a great job at also. I'm sure there's also some sort of underlying message in A Way Out, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really played that game, so I'm not gonna speak on it too much. The gameplay in Split Fiction is a love letter to classic split screen co-op experiences. Whether you're playing locally or online, the game remains in split screen, allowing both players to constantly see each other's perspective. While this takes some getting used to, it quickly becomes a crucial part of the gameplay element because both players need to see each other's info in order to help with puzzles. This game isn't meant to be over challenging, it's a fun, relaxed experience. Your character is squishy, but instantly respawns, and generous checkpoints ensure a smooth journey. Even boss fights and platforming sections are extremely forgiving. Any sort of failure never feels like a huge, crucial punishment where you lose 10 minutes worth of time. It's just sort of a minor setback, and you just kind of keep going on with the story. The world of Split Fiction is obviously quite a bit different from It Takes Two, since we're constantly ping-ponging around stories, but the structure of the maps also just felt a bit different in this game too. This new game feels like it's a lot more of a guided experience than It Takes Two was. You're still being corralled around in It Takes Two, but there were numerous little open areas where you could just dink around with random stuff, and there's not as much of that in Split Fiction. Like It Takes Two had full-on mini games where you could just compete with the other person and you could just rail these back to back to back. I wish there were more areas like that. The only thing like that I can think of for Split Fiction is this Moon Market side quest where you can kind of mess around in the town. Or there's a few minigame style quests, but they're really just guided missions and you can only do them one singular time. I guess I'm mainly just hurt that they took the minigames out. I thought that was a great addition to their last title and I wish they had it in Split Fiction, but it's not the biggest deal. The rest of the gameplay is still really good. With that being said, the sheer variety of gameplay mechanics in Split Fiction is staggering. This game seamlessly integrates third-person shooting, platforming, puzzles, vehicle sequences, I mean you name it. Every level introduces something new. What makes Split Fiction truly shine is how seamlessly these mechanics blend into the storytelling. Instead of feeling like a disconnected gameplay section, each new mechanic is introduced with purpose. often reflecting the emotions or themes of the narrative. For instance, Mio has a story about freeing a giant squid thing that's related to her dad in the hospital, or Zoe has a story about us raising dragons and actually using them as the tool to progress through the chapter. Additionally, the game's physics-based interactions and unique co-op abilities force players to think creatively. Mio and Zoe each have very distinct skills that don't do a whole lot on their own, but help each other out tremendously when used as a team. The way that these powers interact keeps the gameplay engaging and ensures that both players remain actively involved. Simply put, Split Fiction is one of the most unique and fun multiplayer experiences you can find on the market. It's entertaining, incredibly addictive, easy to pick up, and blends countless different styles of games, so there's a little bit of something in here for everybody, no matter what you enjoy. Switching over to the visuals, Split Fiction is graphically breathtaking. Throughout my playthrough, I was constantly in awe of the artistic direction. While the majority of the game takes place in these sci-fi or fantasy settings, the real showstoppers are the little smaller side missions or the final chapter of the game. One standout moment is a scene where Zoe draws in real time, creating a living, hand-drawn world. Or just check out this visual masterpiece that comes at the end. When the two story realms begin merging in real time, the transitions are just seamless. This has to be one of the most visually impressive sequences I have ever seen in a game. A few moments may feel a bit visually overwhelming, but Split Fiction undeniably pushes graphical boundaries in ways that few other games dare to do. This game looked brilliant. Even the cutscenes, while not necessarily as jaw-dropping as some of these other moments, they're still extremely polished and reinforce the narrative beautifully. They're great. Switching over to the audio design in Split Fiction, it is nothing short of excellent. From the moment you step into the game's world, the soundtrack immerses you in the shifting atmospheres of sci-fi and fantasy. The voice acting in this game is also another highlight. The actors for Mio and Zoe brought their characters to life with really authentic performances that captured their struggles, personalities, and the growth they made along the way. Even the evil doctor guy, he was great. He definitely had himself quite the arc all the way throughout the story, and he is not the same person from beginning to end, and he did a great job with that. Overall, I thought Split Fiction nailed its audio presentation, and it was an integral part to the game's charm and depth. Switching over to bugs and issues here, I played Split Fiction within an hour of release, and I am thrilled to report that it ran flawlessly. In an era where many games launch in an unfinished state, Hazelight has managed to deliver a polished experience right from the start, and that deserves immense praise. The only issue I encountered was occasional frame rate dips, which were minor and quickly resolved. Beyond that, there were no crashes or game-breaking bugs, just a smooth, seamless playthrough on day one, an hour of release. Most of the time nowadays, it feels like you're pulling teeth just trying to ask a dev company to drop their game and not have it break within the first couple minutes. But this game was phenomenal. In conclusion, Your Honor, Split Fiction is a masterpiece and a worthy successor to It Takes Two. It blends an incredible variety of gameplay styles, introduces groundbreaking visual elements, and delivers a compelling story that balances humor and heartfelt moments. The game's ability to seamlessly switch between genres, keeping the gameplay fresh and engaging, is nothing short of impressive. The emotional depth of the characters, combined with the game's lighthearted moments, creates a memorable narrative that resonates long after the credits roll. The audio and visual presentations also elevate the experience, making Split Fiction not just a game, but an artistic triumph. This game is beautiful. It is going to win awards, mark my words. Save this video. If I had to wrap this all up into a rating today, 1 to 10, I think it's going to be an easy 10 out of 10 for me, coach. With the right co-op partner, this is a game that anyone can pick up and thoroughly enjoy. Whether you're a fan of Hazelight's previous titles or a newcomer to games in general, Split Fiction is an essential experience that redefines what cooperative gaming can achieve. And with that being said right there, folks, I think that's going to about do it here for our review today. Before we fully wrap up, I just want to say I'm sorry this review is getting out kind of late. I should have had this up years ago by now, but I'm just the worst. My bad. It's here now. Thank you for watching. If you haven't played this yet yourself, do yourself a favor and go try it out because it is phenomenal and you will 1000% like it. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Your boy would really appreciate that. But yeah, I think that's about it, fellas. Take it easy. This has been Lunar, and welcome to Bound.